Hey everybody, we are looking today into solving variables on both sides. So yesterday we talked about solving two-step equations. Today we're going to deal with having variables on both sides. And that'll kind of bump it up a little bit more and we'll kind of deal with some bigger problems moving forward. So for this one, again, the first thing I want to do is put my line right down the middle. I will teach you and I'll kind of always try to move my variables to the left side. That will always be the case for me. I always like to move my variables to the left side. This will help us eventually when we deal with inequalities. So that is something that I'll always kind of talk about as far as moving when we deal with variables on both sides. So to do that, again, last time we dealt with just two steps. We always got rid of that constant first by adding or subtracting, and then we got rid of our best friend. Here we got to get all our best friends on the same side first. So we're going to again add or subtract to move those things back and forth. Okay. So right now I have a positive 8x. I want to move my x's all to the same side, and personally I'm going to move them all to the left. So to move this, I want to move the whole thing. I don't want to separate the 8 and the x. They're still buddies. They want to stick together. So I'm going to subtract. It's the opposite operation because I'm moving it across the equal sign. So here when I subtract this 8x to the other side, the 8x's over here cancel out, which is what we wanted. We want them all on one side, not on both. So then here I have 45 is what comes down. Nothing changed here. Here I would do 6 minus 8x, which gets me negative 2x. And the 15 comes down. Nothing happened with that, so it stays the same. Okay? So now we got all our best buddies all together over here on the left side. Now this becomes like a problem that we were doing yesterday with our two-step equations. We get rid of the Facebook, Instagram friend, or whatever that's not super close to us. On the same side as x. So best buddy, you stay together for a little bit longer. I gotta get rid of this 15. This is a common spot where I see mistakes. There's a minus right next to this 15. So a lot of people are like, well, I gotta add that then. Okay? I want to look at what the 15 is. What I want to look at is what is to the left of the 15. Well, in this case, there's nothing. And in math, there's nothing there. It's a positive. Okay? So you're trying to figure out, well, is this positive or negative? What am I gonna do? It's a positive 15, so the opposite then would be to make it negative or subtract it. So I'm going to be then subtracting 15 from both sides. Okay, got rid of our Facebook friend, Instagram friend. So I bring down, again, make sure you're bringing everything down that wasn't used. So here I have a minus 2x, or negative 2x, equals 45 minus 15 gets me 30. At this point, we have our kind of last step set up where I'm going to go, okay, well now I got to get rid of my best buddy. They're right next to each other. So in math, when they're right next to each other, it means they're being multiplied. The opposite is how we're going to get rid of it. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide both sides by negative 2. This will give me my answer then of x equals negative 15. Okay? So my answer, x equals negative 15. All right? Over here on the right side, so that's step by step how we're going to do it. This one over here on the right is a little bit, adds in like one more extra step. But the process is going to be very, very similar. Okay, so here, new problem. Okay, here I've got x's still on both sides. I've got an x here. I got an x here. Before I can deal with the x's moving over to the same side, I need to take care of the parentheses. Okay, the parentheses just kind of takes the importance. It says, hey, I'm right here. Look at me. I need to be taken care of first. So we take care of this thing first, and then we deal with moving our x's. So here I'm going to distribute this negative 2 into my parentheses. So negative 2, again, parentheses tells me I'm multiplying. So I'll multiply negative 2 times 3 gets me negative 6. Here I have negative 2. If you want to throw a 1 in front of that x, to remind you it's a 1x, I can do negative 2 times negative 1 gets me positive 2x. Okay. Again, if you get stuck on those things, type it in your calculator. Just treat it like negative 2, negative 1, and whatever the answer is. If it's positive, you put a plus. If it's negative, you put minus there as far as your sign. Okay. Right side, we did not do a single thing over here, so we're going to leave that exactly the same. So I got 4x plus 10. Then to go about the rest of the problem, this is where it looks exactly the same as what we just did on the other problem. Okay. So again, our steps, I always want to get my variable. Personally, again, I move it always to the left side. So I'm going to get rid of this 4x. Because it's a positive 4x, I'm going to be subtracting to get rid of it. What I do on this side, I also have to do on the other side of my center line, my equal sign. So this will cancel out. I bring down my 10. It's positive, so it stays positive 10. 2 minus 4 is negative 2x. Here I bring down my negative 6. Again, I didn't do anything with this. The sign stayed with it. We're okay. Now I've got to get rid of the Facebook friend, the Instagram friend, the one that's not my best friend. So the not the best friend is my -6. Opposite operation to move this thing across to the other side would be to add 6 to both sides here. +6 + 6. I bring down what's left. Again, we have a negative here. Make sure you bring this sign down with our -2x equals 16. So in this case, now I solve. Last step. Right now, they're next to each other, they're being multiplied. The opposites divide, so I'm going to divide by -2. Okay? 16 divided by -2 gets us the answer of -8. If you're wanting to check them, okay? So if you want to double check this, I'm just going to show this on the first one, how to check this. So if I want to check this answer over here, okay? I'm actually going to turn my screen over just a little bit so we can see this whole thing. Okay? So if I want to check this answer, I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to put in here 15 plus 6. I'm going to replace the x, because we found out what x is equal. We're going to replace the x with -15. Equals 45 plus 8 times our -15. Okay? Notice again, all I did was replace the x's in the original problem, here and here, with our -15. So if I go about doing this, going through solving this is just straight calculator work. I would do 15 plus 6 times -15. So I'd have 15 minus 6 times that's going to get you to 60, 30, 90. Okay, so I got 15 minus 90 on this side. Over here I've got 45 minus 120. Okay. Double check to see if this thing works. 15 minus 90 will get you -75. And over here, when you check that out, we end up with that -75 as well. Because it ends up equaling each other, we know our check is complete. So again, this is how we check your work. Okay? Again, today, guys, we'll be dealing with some of these problems. I'm also going to walk you through in class how we're going to deal with scanning things and turning those in. So I might give you an assignment with that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in just a little bit.